Some parents do not feel sad anymore. They feel nothing, and that scares them more. Because numbness feels less like breakdown and more like becoming a stranger inside home suddenly. You still pack lunches, answer questions, sign forms, smile politely, and somehow feel absent during all. That does not mean you love your children less. It usually means your system is overloaded. When stress stays switched on too long, your mind stops feeling deeply just to keep functioning. Parents often call this laziness, coldness, ingratitude, or failure, which makes the shutdown even heavier. But emotional numbness is not usually the absence of love, it is protection from overload. And modern parenting creates overload so quietly, many decent parents barely notice it happening daily. The strange part is how normal it looks from the outside these days. You answer bedtime questions while checking work messages, and nobody calls that an emergency anymore. You break up sibling fights with a calm voice while your chest feels electrically tired. You hear your teenager's door close again and instantly brace for another invisible distance forming. You open a school email and feel dread before reading even a single sentence inside. That reaction is not drama, it is your brain expecting one more demand to manage. Numbness often grows where pressure becomes constant, invisible, and strangely impossible to explain to others. You are not melting down every day, so you assume you must be coping fine. But coping can look like moving through family life with your feelings turned halfway off. That is why numbness confuses parents. It hides inside responsibility, routine, and impressive daily endurance. You are still showing up, which makes it harder to admit something inside has gone quiet. And quiet suffering is common in homes where everyone is technically doing what they should. Parents are carrying schedules, emotions, logistics, finances, safety fears, and everyone else's needs simultaneously daily. That much mental load does not always create tears. Sometimes it creates emotional dimming instead. Like a room where the lights still work but nobody notices how weak they became. A parent can love fiercely and still feel blank while a child tells them something important. That blankness is painful partly because it clashes with who you thought parenthood would make you. You expected tired, maybe stressed, maybe messy, but not this eerie emotional flatness at times. And because no one posts about feeling nothing during soccer practice or Saturday pancakes either, they post gratitude, milestones, organized lunchboxes, smiling vacations, and carefully filtered moments of connection instead. So numb parents often assume everyone else is coping better, feeling deeper, and loving easier. That comparison adds shame, and shame makes honest self-awareness much harder to access daily. The brain under chronic pressure narrows its focus to survival, efficiency, and getting through today. It becomes less interested in tenderness when tenderness feels like one more thing to manage. That does not sound beautiful, but it is deeply human and surprisingly common now too. Especially for parents who are expected to be emotionally available, financially stable, digitally alert, and endlessly patient. We ask parents to be calm therapists, reliable managers, attentive teachers, and affectionate partners simultaneously. Then we act surprised when some of them stop feeling fully alive inside for stretches. Numbness can also follow relentless small interruptions, because constant interruption prevents emotional completion entirely often. You start one thought, answer one need, silence one alarm, then switch again before breathing. Your body remains in motion, but your emotions never get a full sentence out anymore. After enough days like that, numbness can feel almost efficient for a while to survive. Feeling less means reacting less, and reacting less can look like being more in control. But control bought through emotional shutdown has a cost, and families feel it too eventually. Children notice when your voice is kind but your presence feels a little far away. Teens especially notice when conversations feel procedural, even if every responsible parenting box gets checked. They may not name your numbness, but they feel the missing warmth anyway at home. Younger children often respond by getting louder, clingier, or more explosive around the smallest frustrations. Not because they are manipulative, but because disconnection makes children reach harder for contact again. And that usually creates the exact opposite effect in an already overloaded parent inside today. The child intensifies, the parent tightens, and both sides misread what is actually happening beneath. One thinks, "Why are you so demanding?" while the other feels, "Why are you gone?" This is why numbness matters. It silently changes family interactions before anyone has language for it. It does not only affect joy, it affects patience, curiosity, repair, and emotional timing too. A numb parent often reacts late, then harshly, then feels guilty for hours afterward alone. Not because they wanted to be harsh, but because overwhelmed systems lose nuance first usually. Nuance is what lets you hear tone, separate urgency from noise, and stay flexible inside. Exhaustion steals that before it steals love, which is why parents misunderstand themselves sometimes deeply. They think, "I am becoming a worse parent," when often they are becoming a depleted one. Depletion changes perception, and perception shapes everything from discipline to dinner conversations to bedtime guilt. When you are depleted, every request can sound like criticism and every mess feels personal. The shoes by the door are not just shoes anymore, they are proof you failed again. The overflowing sink becomes evidence that life is outrunning you, not just another dirty pan. Your teenager's shrug feels less like normal adolescence and more like a verdict on you. That is what overload does. It personalizes everything and softens nothing inside. Then numbness arrives as a strange relief because feeling less means hurting less for moments. But it also means enjoying less, noticing less, and connecting less than you want to. Parents describe this in quiet ways that rarely sound serious enough to deserve help somehow. They say, "I am just tired," or "I need a break," or "I am off lately." Those sentences are often true, but they are also smaller than the reality underneath them. Because what many parents really mean is, "I cannot access myself the way I used to." And that can feel frightening when your children still need your steadiness every day there. Especially if you were once the parent who felt everything deeply and responded quickly before. The contrast becomes another wound. You miss your old self while performing your current life. This is also where guilt becomes vicious, because numbness does not stop love inside you. You still care intensely, which means you notice every moment you feel emotionally unavailable lately. You hear yourself answer automatically, and part of you instantly grieves the distance afterward quietly. That grief is important because it proves the numbness is not your whole truth either. Underneath the flatness, something in you is still paying attention and wanting reconnection so badly. And that matters because shame tells parents numbness means they have become indifferent forever now. Usually it means the opposite. They have cared beyond capacity for too long already somehow. The antidote is not becoming more grateful, more disciplined, or more productive right now either. Overloaded parents do not heal by squeezing themselves harder, they heal by reducing internal threat. That starts with naming what is happening without turning it into a character judgment first. Instead of, "I am cold," try, "I have been emotionally overdrawn for too long lately." That small change matters because the nervous system responds differently to truth than accusation does. Accusation creates more stress, and more stress pushes numbness deeper into the body again today. Truth creates a little space, and space is where feeling can safely return to you. Another shift is stopping the habit of calling every need an interruption in your mind. Some needs are demands, yes, but many are bids for regulation and connection from children. That does not make them easy, especially when you have no regulation left yourself either. But seeing them clearly can reduce resentment, which often feeds emotional numbness at home quietly. Resentment grows fastest when parents feel needed everywhere and held nowhere themselves. Everyone comes to them for comfort, but few people ask who comforts them when drained. That loneliness can exist inside marriage, partnership, friendship, and even crowded family rooms too easily. A parent can be surrounded by voices and still feel emotionally unaccompanied most evenings lately. And when nobody helps carry the invisible load, the self goes quiet first inside often. This is why small moments of protected quiet are not indulgent, they're restorative medicine. Not scrolling while half dissociated, but actual quiet that lets your mind unclench again gently. 2 minutes without demands can matter if those minutes feel truly yours for once today. So, can tiny moments of completion, like finishing one task before accepting 3 more requests? Overload thrives on fragmentation, which means healing often begins with slightly less fragmentation each day. Another helpful question is not, why am I numb, but what am I carrying today? That question moves you from self-attack to honest inventory, which is far more useful. Maybe you are carrying work fear, money tension, sleep debt, and endless digital noise daily. Maybe you are carrying your child's anxiety while trying not to let it become yours. Maybe you are carrying the pressure to be present in a world built for distraction. Maybe you are carrying grief for the version of family life you thought you would have. Sometimes numbness is what happens when grief has nowhere clean to go inside busy homes. Grief for time, ease, spontaneity, privacy, energy, identity, and relationships that changed without permission to. Parents are often mourning quietly while continuing to function, which looks strong and feels confusing. Because you can be grateful for your family and still grieve what this season costs. Those feelings do not cancel each other, they explain each other instead. And when parents stop fighting that contradiction, their inner world usually softens a little again. Softening matters because numbness rarely melts through pressure, it melts through safety over time gently. Safety can look ordinary: lower noise, one honest conversation, one canceled obligation, one earlier bedtime. It can look like telling your partner, I am not angry, I am maxed out. It can look like telling a child, I need 1 quiet minute, then I am back. Not as rejection, but as a repair that prevents harsher disconnection later for everyone involved. Children do not need parents who never shut down, they need parents who understand shut down. That understanding changes the tone from blame to leadership, which children can actually trust more. It teaches them that emotions can go missing sometimes, and connection can still return afterward. That may be one of the most valuable lessons overwhelmed parents ever model for children. Not perfection under pressure, but honest repair after pressure has changed the room again completely. If you feel numb lately, the question is not whether you care enough anymore today. The better question is whether your inner life has had enough support to stay awake. Many parents have been asked to run on devotion while starving for restoration themselves lately. No wonder some of them stop feeling fully present long before they stop loving deeply. So if this is you, let the truth be kinder than the shame today, please. You are not empty because you failed. You may be empty because you carried too much. And the fact that this hurts tells you something beautiful still lives underneath the fatigue. If that landed, share what felt familiar and stay close for our next conversation here.